All right, hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of Zappsec, the modernization series. I'm Carl Schneider, Vice President at Zappsec, and I'm joined by Devender Singh, who's our principal cloud architect. Devender, today I'd like to talk about what we refer to as the CFO's blind spot. There's
Mhm.
a simple question that I ask most CFOs that kind of uncover this blind spot for them, and that is, what does your most profitable product actually cost to run in the cloud? And I'm not talking about the line item when you're ready to spill. I'm talking about the real number with the shared services, the platform cost, networking, all of it allocated down to a product and mapped to revenue. Because if nobody in that organization can answer that in under a minute, they don't have a FinOps program. They've probably got some sort of a tagging program, and the gap between those is costing them way more than they think.
Right, Carl. So here is what happens in practice. FinOps team tag resources by team, by environment, maybe by cost centers. They build dashboards. Leadership looks at them and everyone says, great, we have visibility. But tagging and allocation are completely different things.
How so?
Uh, Attack tells you who deployed something, how it was deployed, etc., etc. It doesn't tell you which product it supports or how much of your shared networking, your shared security stack, your CI/CD pipelines, your logging, monitoring platforms, how much of all that a given product actually consumes. And that shared stuff in most enterprises we have worked with, it's 30 to 40% of the total cloud bill just
Wow.
sitting in shared pools, never distributed to a product or a business unit.
Yeah, so 30 to 4%. That's where it really hurts the business, right? Because your finance team is making capital allocation decisions based on cost data that's missing. That 30 to 40%, they're missing from the real number. So they're calculating product margins for board presentations, deciding what to invest in, what to sunset, and every one of those analyses is basically structurally incomplete. So when the board
Exactly.
asks why the cloud ROI is unclear, it's not because the cloud isn't delivering value, it's because nobody can see that value. The cost side of the equation is it's just wrong.
Exactly. But the fix isn't a better dashboard. It's building an actual allocation model. And that's a specific architectural component. It takes those shared costs, networking, security, observability, platform services, and distributes them to the business units that consume them using distribution keys that are based on real utilization of data and matrices.
So not estimates, not even splits.
No, no. Measured consumption, what percentage of shared Kubernetes cluster does product A use versus product B? What share of egress bandwidth comes from which service? How much of centralized logging is attributable to each workload based on the actual log volume? That data already exists in customer environments. Nobody has built pipeline to use it.
But here's the step that makes or breaks the whole thing. You have to wire this into your ERP, right? That's the part everyone skips, and it's the most important part. Cloud costs need to follow the same financial reports, right? They need to go into the same planning tools, the same margin calculations as every other cost center, because revenue is in the ERP, headcount is in the ERP. But if the cloud is the one major cost that lives in a separate tool that only the infra team logs into, those numbers will never influence a business decision at the
Correct.
cadence that they need to.
Exactly. And when this integration works, the board conversation changes completely. You stop saying our cloud bill went up 15%. That number is meaningless without context. Instead, you are saying product A's cost to serve dropped 8% while revenue grew 12%. That's expanding margin. That's the language finance speaks. That's the data CFO can actually act on.
Right. Okay. So here's the challenge, right? Go to whoever owns cost visibility in your organization today and ask this one question. What does the highest revenue product cost to run, fully burdened with shared infrastructure allocated?
And if the answer comes back in under 60 seconds with a number the room trusts, you are in great shape, right? Seriously, you are ahead of most enterprises we talk to.
Right, right. Because it's more likely that it's going to take a week of spreadsheets and six people pulling data from three different tools, right? Or the answer is, we don't really track it that way, right? But those aren't visibility problems. That's an allocation architecture problem. The tagging is probably fine and the dashboards are probably fine, but the layer that transforms tag costs into business grade unit economics, they just don't exist.
Right. And the good news is this is entirely solvable. It is not a single leap. It's a journey we have mapped out based on what we have seen on the ground. Organizations are at different points of this journey. It's crawl, walk, run model that we have built over time.
Okay, yeah. So I base I think most enterprises today are at this crawl stage, right? So they get the tagging right, and they've got cost observability across the cloud providers, and they've established who owns what. Every dollar is visible, tagged, and accounted for.
Correct. Walk is where the real transformation happens, Carl. That's the allocation engine we have been talking about. Distribution keys from real telemetry, ERP integration, fully burdened unit economics by product. This is where your CFO starts getting numbers that they actually plan against.
Right, right. And run is where it gets really exciting, right? The policy is code guardrails that block expensive mistakes before they hit production, AI-driven right sizing that adapts in real time, or self-healing commitment portfolios that rebalance without anyone touching them, right? That's autonomous cost governance.
Correct. And Zappsec FinOps Plus delivers every phase. The data already exists in the customer's cost and usage reports. The business hierarchy already exists in their ERPs. The gap is the architecture connecting them. And the time from kickoff to the first CFO ready reports is typically weeks, not quarters, months, or years.
Right. And I guess the big problem is every quarter that the gap persists, the capital allocation decisions are being made on incomplete data. Products that look profitable might actually not be. And products targeted for sunset might actually have great unit economics that nobody can see.
Correct. The
Yeah.
path from where you are today to autonomous cost governance is shorter than most people expect.
Right, right. So build the allocation model, not just the dashboard. Your CFO will thank you. And your next board conversation will be the first one where cloud cost actually makes sense. Awesome.
Right.
Devender, thanks for walking through this. It's very insightful.
Thank you,
All
Carl.
right, everyone. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, Zappsec helps companies modernize their infrastructure, including optimizing your FinOps program, so that you can actually evaluate the true margin of your various SaaS products. We do FinOps every day, right? We've been there, we've done that. And if any of this resonates with you, we could welcome a conversation on how to bring this sort of transformation to your own organization. Visit zackcept.com or reach out to Devender or myself. Our email addresses are visible at the beginning of the video.